Yeah, I've been in the wars, you weren't there. So what, in terms of skills that you've learned, because obviously you guys have learned some very different skills to each other, what skill are you sort of the proudest, or you think is the best skill that you have?
Being able to make things from scratch without knowing what I'm doing. I just think, right, I've got the material, I've got a vague idea of what I'm making, let's just go for it, and most of the time it luckily turns out the way it needs to. But sewing, you have to take your time with sewing, because if you make a mistake and then you realise about 10 centimetres down the thread, it can take like half an hour to unpick, where it took you about 10 seconds to sew. Yeah.
I think the thing I've actually learnt the most is probably how to get stuff not to fall off of you. When making armour, I think people say, oh, armour's not that impressive, it's not impressive as sewing, and I'm like, okay, well, sewing does require a lot more skill, but it's also very hard to get the armour to stay attached to you and stay on you. I don't know if anyone else knows this, but oh my gosh, my Daedric armour just doesn't want to play, it just doesn't want to stay on, the wrist keeps coming unpopped, my thigh just randomly keep coming down as well. I think if you can get armour to stay on you and you can move in it, you've done it right, you have won cosplay.
Most definitely.
One more point on armour is if it's from a video game or an anime, the developers don't really understand how the human body works, as they're not making the clothing themselves. And especially in video games, your armour will just clip into your own body. It's like, you can't make armour that just goes into your body. It doesn't do that. And it just magically stays in place. You have a pauldron, it just sits there. And there's no visible seams on game developers' clothing most of the time. It's like, yeah, they don't have seams. They don't sew things, it's just magically what they want it to be.
It's when pieces of armour just sort of float on you, like they're full shoulder pads. God knows how they're held on, because they are not sort of strapped on, and it's when girls with the skimpy tops, and you're like, yeah, because that's totally just going to stick to my boobs like that. Like, it's just, how?
Yeah. So how do you tend to get around that? So obviously when you do have that sort of challenge where it's like, oh, hang on, it's an anime, it's a game, and it's clearly not going to fit the human body, or as one person I know, you're going to cosplay something like Barbie, which I know someone who did do that quite impressively. How do you get around the slight it's not designed with humans in mind problem?
The person doesn't have human proportions, so for example Barbie, maybe buy a waist trainer or kind of just make it work, because obviously there are some characters that have got stupidly ridiculous proportions, and you're just like, how? But just try and make it fit to your body the best you can. Don't get upset because you're not super thin, and the character is, just do it anyway. It's going to look great regardless. Or if you're not super muscly, just do it anyway. Just do it. Do the character just as by you doing it yourself. Yeah.
Other things that can help keep armour attached, or just items, magnets. A few friends have used magnets in cosplay, and you can get some really good magnets which are just so strong and they won't fall apart. Velcro can be quite useful. Snap fasteners as well. Yeah, and on that side note of misproportioned characters, in anime their legs are about 6 foot long. If you know someone with 6 foot long legs, they're probably not a person. You should go inform the FBI or something like that. But yeah, just do what works for you. Adapt it to how you think it looks best on you. If you feel like, oh, that top's a bit too short, make it longer. The only people who are going to care are people who are elitist, and you don't need to worry what they think.
And on that note of elitism, obviously there are people who might get put off because there are some who think, they're sort of they're better than everyone else sort of mentality. What would you, if you just sort of discuss on that, on that level, you do get that, it's a very small minority, just as a complete caveat, that most people in the cosplay community are absolutely wonderful people, they're happy to, well, you're judging, they're happy to share tips, they're happy to hang out. You'll get people who literally scrub up to you screaming, going, oh, I know that costume, I know that costume, I know that costume, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. which has happened to me twice, and I got really terrified both times. And yeah, but there are, there might be a couple of factions where there'll be things like, oh well, but if you don't have screen accurate stuff, it's not good enough. If you don't have this, that, and the other, it's not good enough. And I mean, personally, I just think that sort of attitude is terrible because, cosplay is for all, is the important thing. Anyone can cosplay, regardless of their budget, regardless of who they are, regardless of how much they weigh, no matter how old they are, no matter what. I think anyone can do it perfectly within their right to. I tend to find the elitism thing can be a bit. So what would you guys advise, or what are your sort of thoughts on this?
I actually get really excited when I see someone who's like made their first costume. I'm like, yes, you did it, you finally, you did it. It might not be the best thing you're going to make, it probably won't be, because you're going to get better and better and better, but it's still like, oh my god, you actually went out and did it. Instead of just trying to buy it, you actually made it, and it's probably going to look a lot better, personally, than something that someone's just bought off the internet. If you've made it yourself, it's instantly just, because you put the effort and the love and the time into it than the money. So, it might be, just like a dress that's you've modified, and it's like, yeah, that's really cool, well done, you did it. And honestly, I won't worry what else things. I've had so many people tell me, I can't do this, I can't do that, and I'm like, well, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm going to do it really good just to spite you, honestly. People that they're like, oh, you can't do that, that's wrong, and you're just like, well, no offense mate, but I don't care. I'm having fun. Literally, it's all about having fun. There are some people that are overly care, and it's just like, you need to stop. But it's just, and if you're scared about making something, try it. You don't always have to wear it, but you at least try it. And practice is a really good thing as well. I've been cosplaying for 6 years, and I still think I could be better. But honestly, as long as you are having fun and you get to meet other people as well, and there'll be that one person, right, that will get super excited about your cosplay because they love that character, and it's the best thing in the world.
You're going to be your biggest critic. You think, I can do this better, and if someone else tells you to do it better, you think, yeah, maybe they're right, but really, don't care what other people think. If they're not going to be constructive about it, or polite nor nice about it, they say, oh, you shouldn't have used that because this is better. It's like, that's not good. They say, that looks really good. If something's falling off, it's like, oh, do you need any help fitting back up? Cosplay's worst nightmare is where you're wearing something and it just falls apart or breaks, and you're like, and then it's no good. So if you see someone struggling, just offer them a hand and just be concerned that when you make something, just enjoy it, and whether you think it's really good or not, you're probably wrong and it's probably really good.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would, cosplay because you want to, because it's fun, because you're going to have a good time. That's the ultimate thing that I can absolutely advise to people, because at the end of the day, it's you that's got to do it, it's you that's putting the money in, the time, and all the rest of it. But honestly, I think if people, this got on my nerves actually the other day, and I actually went off on one, mostly because I'd had a bad day at work. Went off on one, and basically said, if someone is spending their lives criticizing other people all the time, then they clearly need to reevaluate themselves, because they're clearly unhappy about something. So ultimately, go with what you want to do. If you're having a good time, if you're comfortable, if you're enjoying what you're doing, go for it. Completely do it. It doesn't matter how good you are or whether you trained it wherever. You just need to enjoy yourself in a costume, have some fun. I mean, I admit I had a slight inferiority complex towards some of my other friends who've made some amazing costumes out of God knows what, including my boyfriend, and it's just like, and I get so worried. I'm like, oh, I'm no good in contrast. But, they're happily going, well, this is how I did it. If you want to learn, I'm happy to teach you. Or they'll still go, yeah, but your stuff's awesome, and you write things, and all this, that, and the other. And it's just nice because, we've got a nice little network of people where if you're feeling low, they'll pick you back up again and be like, no, you're awesome. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. And on that note, what has been your favourite cosplay moment? A moment where you're in costume and something really awesome happened.
Having the Riot representatives tell me that I have the best Vibe cosplay ever right at the people that make League of Legends, and I was absolutely blown away by it. So I was like, yeah, my Vycos was good, but obviously better. But they're like, no, yours is the best. And it absolutely was like, oh my god, like it was just like, oh, interesting down. I think that was probably the best thing ever. Or when people, you know, they see like their favorite champion from League and they like freak out about it, and then you just sort of like blurt a line at them and they just sort of like die. But when people like fan of your costume, but not your costume, you as the character, it's like, yeah, I did it. I am a character. And just seeing the excitement on their faces is like the best thing.
Probably, I made a character, Dr. Keller from Stargate Atlantis, and I made it in the mind to go to all the Stargate Atlantis cast when they're in the country and get some nice signed photos for my parents. And every time I've seen them, they're like, wow, you look amazing. The first one I met decided to send a picture to the actress of the character I was doing. One of the others I met, they just kept calling me the actress's name the whole time. And this is really excited that I had done this, and they're like, you look so perfect. Like, thank you, I'm so happy. Yeah, just having recognition from the people that you are pretending or cosplaying as, from the actresses or from the devs or the film production team. It's just really nice to get the people who created it tell you that you are really amazing.
I think one of my favourite moments was Cardiff filming Comic Con. Oh god, that would have been March 2015. And I was on my own because I was going to meet up with a couple of people sort of as I went. And I was only going for the day, and I was sort of covering it for the publication I write for, which is I'm With Geek. Name drop, obviously. One of my proudest moments was I was in that thing, and I'd only just sort of started writing about it. I was still very sort of new to everything. And I was dressed up as a punk version of Rainbow Dash from My Little Pony. Because I love Rainbow Dash, and I didn't want to have the full fur thing because it would cost more money than I could have imagined at the time, and I was just like, I'll just... And yeah, I would have overheated. So I went with like a punk version, you know, sort of short shorts, a strap top, some fishnets, and some like fake boots, you know, and a wig and a tail. And that was very fun. And I went around, and I'd been around about 10 minutes, and I had this group of like really small children, and they kept going, oh my god, it's Rainbow Dash, it's Rainbow Dash, it's Rainbow Dash, and just came and like hugged my legs. And I was like, and part of me was like, oh, that's so cute, they like my costume. And then a part of me was like, oh god, they're kids, what do I do? Oh god, I hope I don't break them, oh god. And their parents just sort of followed quite close by, and they were like, oh, they're really excited, they saw you about a couple of minutes ago, and they've been wanting to going on about Rainbow Dash. And it was really nice, because they were just, this look on their faces was just priceless, and they were just like, oh, thank you, we saw Rainbow Dash, and I'm like, oh. So that was very scary, but also one of my favourites, just the look on their faces, they were so happy. And to be fair, that day was pretty good anyway. So of course, you know, we've got people who are watching who might be very new to cosplay, or they might, you know, be thinking about doing it. What kind of advice would you give to someone who is thinking about getting into cosplay, one way or another, and is unsure? Yeah.
Just do it. No, legit, if you want to do something, just go ahead and do it. I mean, if you know someone who's a cosplayer and makes the stuff, ask them, because they will help you. Like, I will happily help anyone who's down for wanting to make stuff. It's like, if you want to make cosplay, ask me, I will help you, because I love new cosplayers. I think cosplay, like, it's such a cool thing, and you make so many great friends from it. And the community, like, it can be horrible, but it's also really lovely as well. I think, like, most of the people I've met, like, I've met them, like, twice, like you, for example, and, you know, you're chill, and it's nice, but some other people, they're like, But honestly, if you are a new cosplayer, do it, ask for advice, and also start off small. I know you're like, oh, I want to put an Iron Man costume. Well, maybe start off smaller, because you might either try and make it and then you fail, and you might be really put off cosplaying, or it might not be what you want, you know. So start off small and then get bigger, and that is literally, you ain't gonna go wrong.
Yeah, just do it really, and take your time. If you're not happy with something, then don't force it to happen. Just make sure you're happy, and don't be shy. If you see people who are dressed in the same series or the same universe, just go up and say hi, and then you can all fanboy over each other all you want.